Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins History, where we explore the exciting world of coins, history, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change. Today, we are diving into a fascinating coin that many people overlook, the United States Washington State Quarter Dollar from the year 2010 with its mint mark. This coin is more than just spare change, it's a piece of American history, full of symbolism, design, and collectible value that might surprise you. If you've ever wondered whether that quarter rattling around in your pocket or stashed away in a drawer might be worth something, you're in for a treat, because the 2010 Washington State Quarter Dollar could be much more valuable than you think. Let's start by looking at the background of the quarter itself. Quarters in the United States have been one of the most widely used coins for everyday transactions for decades, but with the launch of the state quarters program in 1999, they became something truly special. Each quarter celebrated the rich history and identity of one of the 50 states, and collectors across the nation became fascinated with finding every design. The program was so popular that by the time it ended in 2008, millions of Americans had collected these coins. But that wasn't the end of the story. In 2010, the U.S. Mint introduced the America the Beautiful quarters, continuing the tradition of honoring different states and their landmarks. The Washington quarter from this year carries the same iconic portrait of George Washington on the front, reminding us of the nation's very first president, while the reverse side highlights unique designs tied to different states and parks. The 2010 quarters stand out because they marked the beginning of this new chapter in U.S. coinage. That year featured designs celebrating locations like Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas, Yellowstone in Wyoming, Yosemite in California, Grand Canyon in Arizona, and Mount Hood in Oregon. These designs were more than just art on coins, they were stories carved in metal, symbols of America's natural beauty and heritage. And with the mint mark included, these quarters tell an even deeper story, because the mint mark indicates where exactly the coin was produced, whether in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Collectors pay close attention to mint marks because they can drastically influence a coin's rarity and value. When you hold a 2010 Washington quarter, you are holding a piece of a series that blended history, culture, and artistry into everyday currency. The obverse side, of course, carries that familiar bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and slightly modified over the years, while the reverse side brings to life the breathtaking scenery and national pride tied to America's most cherished locations. The quality of the strike, the details of the imagery, and even the condition of the coin play a massive role in determining whether your quarter is just worth 25 cents or something far greater. Now, why is the 2010 Washington State Quarter Dollar such an interesting coin for collectors today? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and errors. Millions of these quarters were produced, but not all quarters are created equal. The average coin you find in your change has likely been handled, worn down, and scratched through years of circulation, which greatly reduces its collector value. But coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, coins that look almost exactly like they did the day they were minted, are the ones that command serious attention. These are the coins collectors hunt for, because the better the condition, the higher the value, and then there's the exciting world of mint errors. Sometimes during production, coins are struck incorrectly, leading to mistakes like double strikes, off-center designs, missing details, or unusual metal flaws. These error coins are incredibly rare, and when they're connected to a coin like the 2010 Washington quarter, their value can soar. Collectors love errors because they are one-of-a-kind pieces, making each discovery unique and far more valuable than standard coins. Imagine coming across a quarter with a noticeable minting flaw. That's like winning the lottery in the world of numismatics. What makes these quarters even more fascinating is their appeal to both casual collectors and serious numismatists. Many people started collecting state quarters for fun back in 1999, and when the America the Beautiful series began, they carried that excitement forward. That means even today, a surprising number of people are actively searching for specific dates, designs, and mint marks to complete their sets. This demand keeps the market strong, and when demand meets rarity, the prices can climb to impressive heights. So, how much could your 2010 Washington State Quarter Dollar be worth if you happen to have the right one? Well, if you're holding a quarter that has survived in mint state condition with a clear mint mark, or better yet, if you own one with a rare mint error, you could be in possession of a true treasure. The value of such a coin has been known to reach an incredible $65,000. That's right, $65,000 for a single quarter. A coin most people see as everyday pocket change can, under the right circumstances, be worth more than a brand new car or even enough to make a serious change in someone's life. This is why it's so important to check your change carefully, to examine those coins you've tucked away, and to never underestimate the hidden potential in a simple quarter. Coin collecting is about more than just money, it's about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin tells a story, and the 2010 Washington State quarter dollar is a story of America's landscapes, its craftsmanship, and the surprises that can be found when you take a closer look. Who knows, your next great find could be sitting in your pocket right now. Today, we are focusing on a fascinating coin that many people pass over without giving a second thought, the United States Washington State quarter dollar from the year 2011 with its mint mark. At first glance, it looks like just another quarter, something you'd use at the vending machine or to grab a cup of coffee. But once you really understand its history, design, rarity, and collector appeal, you'll realize that this coin has the potential to be worth a great deal more than 25 cents. Stick with me until the very end, because I'll reveal just how much one of these quarters in the right condition could be valued at today. To really appreciate the 2011 Washington State quarter dollar, we have to first step back and understand the story behind America's quarter programs. Beginning in 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the wildly popular State Quarters program, releasing unique designs for each state. This program brought millions of Americans into coin collecting, sparking a new wave of excitement about coins that had long been overlooked. By 2008, all 50 states had been honored, but collectors weren't done yet. In 2010, the Mint began the America the Beautiful Quarter series, featuring stunning designs that highlighted national parks and historic sites across the country. The year 2011 carried on this tradition with a new set of designs, each one celebrating America's natural wonders and cultural landmarks, and these quarters quickly became sought after by collectors eager to continue what had become a national treasure hunt. On the obverse, of course, sits the timeless portrait of George Washington, first introduced in 1932 and carefully preserved with only slight modifications through the years. It represents stability, continuity, and the nation's enduring respect for its first president. But the reverse designs from 2011 are where the artistry really shines. That year, 5 different quarters were released, each one honoring a different site: Gettysburg National Military Park in Pennsylvania, Glacier National Park in Montana, Olympic National Park in Washington, Vicksburg National Military Park in Mississippi, and Chickasaw National Recreation Area in Oklahoma. Each design captured the essence of its location, from the solemnity of a battlefield to the breathtaking landscapes of mountains, forests, and rivers. These weren't just coins, they were miniature works of art that celebrated the spirit of America. Now, when we talk about mint marks, we enter the heart of coin collecting. A mint mark tells you exactly where the coin was made. In the case of the 2011 quarters, the most common mint marks were P for Philadelphia and D for Denver. There were also proof versions struck in San Francisco with the S mint mark. These details matter because some mint marks are produced in smaller numbers or show subtle variations that collectors crave. The combination of mint mark, condition, and design can turn an ordinary quarter into an extraordinary collectible. So what makes the 2011 Washington State quarter dollar especially appealing to collectors? Rarity and condition. Millions of these coins entered circulation, but most of them were handled countless times, passed from hand to hand, jangled in pockets, scraped against other coins, and eventually showing the wear and tear of daily life. A heavily circulated coin may still have historical value, but it won't attract the same attention in the marketplace as one that has been preserved in pristine condition. Coins graded as uncirculated or mint state are the ones that make collectors' eyes light up, because they represent the coin exactly as it looked the day it left the mint. Another layer of excitement comes from minting errors. These are the accidents that happen during production: off-center strikes, double dies, missing details, or planchet flaws, that turn ordinary coins into rare one-of-a-kind treasures. Error coins from 2011 quarters can be especially valuable, because they stand out dramatically against the standard design. For a collector, discovering an error coin feels like uncovering a secret hidden in plain sight, and such coins often command extraordinary prices at auctions and in private sales. Beyond rarity and errors, there's also the emotional factor. The 2011 quarters connect people to history and to nature. Someone who has visited Gettysburg or hiked through Olympic National Park might feel an extra bond with the coin representing that location. That personal connection fuels demand, and when demand meets scarcity, values climb higher. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that if you happen to have a Washington State quarter dollar from 2011 with its mint mark, especially one that has been carefully preserved in mint condition or shows a rare minting error, you could be holding something far more valuable than pocket change. In fact, the right coin could be worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $60,000 for a single quarter. Imagine turning over a coin that most people would use without a thought and discovering that it could pay for a brand new car, cover a year of college tuition, or even change your financial life in a big way. That's the magic of coin collecting. Hidden treasures can appear where you least expect them. So the next time you come across a 2011 quarter, take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, study its condition, and check for unusual features. You never know what you might uncover. Sometimes the smallest pieces of change carry the greatest stories, and the greatest value. Today we're going to explore a coin that many people overlook, yet it carries incredible stories, history, and potential value: the United States Washington State quarter dollar from the year 2013 with its mint mark. You might have seen this coin in your pocket change or even ignored it in a jar of coins, but the truth is, under the right circumstances, this quarter can be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal just how much one of these coins could fetch if you happen to have the right one. The story of the Washington quarter is one of America's most fascinating journeys in coinage. Originally introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the quarter quickly became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. But starting in 1999, the quarter underwent a huge transformation with the launch of the State Quarters program. This program introduced new designs for each state and ignited a wave of collecting across the country. Millions of Americans who had never thought about coin collecting before began saving quarters, hunting for specific designs, and cherishing these coins as little pieces of American history. After that program ended, the U.S. Mint wasn't finished. In 2010, the America the Beautiful Quarters program began, continuing the tradition of fresh designs on the reverse side of the Washington quarter. Instead of focusing on states alone, this series honored national parks, forests, and historic landmarks across the country. The year 2013 featured 5 unique designs, each one highlighting a different location: White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire, Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial in Ohio, Great Basin National Park in Nevada, Fort McHenry National Monument in Maryland, and Mount Rushmore National Memorial in South Dakota. Each quarter carried not only the face of George Washington on the front, but also a new story on the back: stories of nature, history, and the spirit of America. When you hold a 2013 Washington quarter, you're holding much more than just 25 cents. You're holding a small piece of art, history, and identity. The obverse remains faithful to John Flanagan's design of Washington, a timeless reminder of the nation's first president, while the reverse displays intricate images that reflect the pride of the locations they honor. The details on these coins, from the towering White Mountains to the solemn Fort McHenry where the Star-Spangled Banner was inspired, make each quarter a tiny canvas filled with meaning. But collectors don't just stop at design. They pay close attention to mint marks, which indicate where a coin was produced. In 2013, these quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint with a P mark, the Denver Mint with a D mark, and special proof versions came from San Francisco with the S mark. Sometimes the mint where a coin was produced can significantly affect its rarity. For example, some mint marks are released in smaller quantities, while others show tiny variations that collectors eagerly hunt for. Mint marks, along with condition, often determine whether a coin is worth pocket change or something far more significant, and that brings us to condition. Millions of 2013 Washington quarters were struck, but the vast majority went straight into circulation. That means they were tossed into purses, jingled in pockets, and scraped against other coins in cash registers. Over time, they became scratched, worn, and lost their original mint luster. But a small number of these coins managed to survive in pristine condition, untouched by circulation. Collectors prize these mint state coins because they look exactly the way they did the day they left the mint. The sharper the details, the shinier the surface, and the fewer the blemishes, the more valuable the coin becomes. Even more exciting are minting errors. During the production of coins, mistakes sometimes happen: double strikes, off-center images, missing elements, or unusual metal flaws. These error coins are like hidden treasures, each one unique, and they can dramatically increase the value of a coin. A 2013 Washington quarter with a rare minting error could be worth many times more than a standard example. Collectors are always searching for these mistakes because they tell a story of imperfection in an otherwise uniform process, turning a regular coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Now think about the bigger picture. Quarters like these are still in circulation, meaning they can be found in everyday life, at the grocery store, in your change after a meal, or sitting unnoticed in an old jar at home. That accessibility makes the hunt thrilling. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to find a treasure. Sometimes, all it takes is paying attention to the change in your hand. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know what piece of history might come your way. So, what's the potential value of the 2013 Washington State quarter dollar with its mint mark? If you happen to have one in near perfect, uncirculated condition, or even better, if you've discovered one with a rare minting error, you could be holding something truly extraordinary. The value of such a coin has been known to reach an astonishing $67,000. Yes, you heard that right, $67,000 for a single quarter. Imagine the surprise of realizing that the coin you thought was just worth 25 cents could actually be worth more than some people make in an entire year. That's why it's always worth looking closely at the coins you come across, because hidden gems like these do exist, and they can change lives in the blink of an eye. Today, we're turning our attention to a coin that you might already have in your home, tucked away in a jar of quarters, rattling around in your car, or perhaps sitting quietly in your pocket. It's the United States Washington State quarter dollar from the year 2014 with its mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another 25-cent piece, but once you understand its history, its design, its rarity, and the attention it gets from collectors, you'll realize that this is no ordinary coin. Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal just how valuable this quarter can truly be if you're lucky enough to own the right one. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932, when it was first introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, it became a constant companion in daily transactions, easily one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. But as time went on, the quarter became more than just money. It became a canvas for storytelling. Beginning in 1999, with the State Quarters program, every state was celebrated with a unique design on the reverse, sparking a collecting craze across the nation. People of all ages began searching their change, filling books, and cherishing these coins as pieces of history they could hold in their hands. After that wildly popular program concluded, the U.S. Mint introduced the America the Beautiful quarters in 2010, continuing the tradition of honoring American heritage. Instead of states, this program featured national parks, forests, and historic landmarks, highlighting the breathtaking natural and cultural treasures that define the country. By the time we reached 2014, the series was in full swing, and that year brought some truly memorable designs to collectors. The 2014 quarters honored 5 significant locations. These were Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee, Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, Arches National Park in Utah, Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, and Everglades National Park in Florida. Each of these coins carried the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, a timeless reminder of America's first president, while the reverse showcased stunning artwork that captured the essence of these iconic places. From the misty ridges of the Smoky Mountains to the majestic stone arches of Utah, these coins were miniature masterpieces, bringing America's landscapes to life in silver and copper-nickel alloy. But what makes these quarters especially intriguing to collectors is not just their designs, but the small details that set them apart, such as the mint marks. In 2014, these quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint with the P mark, at the Denver Mint with the D mark, and proof coins were produced at the San Francisco Mint with the S mark. Each mint mark carries its own story, and in some cases, a particular mint's production numbers or quality variations can make those coins scarcer and more desirable. Collectors are often fascinated by mint marks, because something as small as a single letter can be the difference between a common coin and a valuable one. Another critical factor in determining value is condition. Most 2014 Washington quarters were released into circulation, which means they were used day in and day out, passed from hand to hand, stored in pockets, and tossed into change jars. Over time, these coins naturally developed scratches, dings, and loss of their original shine. However, a small fraction of these coins never entered circulation. Instead, they were preserved in pristine condition, retaining all the sharpness of their details and the brilliance of their mint luster. These uncirculated or mint state coins are the ones collectors prize most, and they are the ones that can reach extraordinary values on the open market. And then, of course, there is the fascinating world of mint errors. Sometimes during the minting process, mistakes happen. Coins can be struck off-center, designs can be doubled, parts of the design may be missing, or the coin may even be struck on the wrong planchet. These errors transform what would otherwise be a regular coin into a unique collectible. Because no two errors are exactly alike, error coins are in high demand, and when combined with the already collectible nature of the 2014 Washington quarter, they can command truly impressive prices. Another reason these coins stand out is the connection people feel to the places represented on them. Someone who grew up near the Shenandoah Mountains, visited the Everglades on vacation, or hiked through the arches of Utah might feel a personal connection to these coins. That sense of pride and nostalgia can fuel demand among collectors, making certain designs even more desirable. And with so many people continuing to collect America the Beautiful quarters as part of completing their sets, the demand for high-quality examples of the 2014 coins remains strong. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that if you happen to have a 2014 Washington State quarter dollar with its mint mark, and it happens to be in exceptional condition, or better yet, if it carries a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin worth far more than just a quarter. In fact, the value of such a coin has reached as much as $77,000, yes, $77,000 for a single quarter that most people would spend without a second thought. That's the incredible world of coin collecting, hidden treasures waiting to be discovered in plain sight, small pieces of change that hold stories, history, beauty, and the potential to change someone's life. So the next time you come across a 2014 Washington quarter, don't dismiss it as ordinary. Take a closer look. You might just have something truly extraordinary in your hands. Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the United States of America Washington State quarter dollar from the year 2015 with its mint mark, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but has shocked collectors and enthusiasts around the world with its surprising value. This coin belongs to the series of quarters that celebrate the beauty, history, and culture of America, and since their release, people have been searching through their change hoping to discover one of these rare treasures. The 2015 Washington State quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which features stunning designs dedicated to national parks and historic sites, and depending on its condition, minting, and unique errors, it can be worth far more than just 25 cents. Think about it, every coin has its own story. From the moment it is struck at the mint, it begins a journey through countless hands, registers, pockets, and wallets. Some of these coins get lost, some are collected immediately, and some become extraordinary because of small imperfections or rare details that make them incredibly valuable. The 2015 Washington State quarter is one of those coins that stands out. For collectors, the mint mark is especially important, as it tells us where the coin was produced. Coins from different mints can have variations that dramatically affect their worth. For example, A quarter minted in Philadelphia may differ from one minted in Denver or San Francisco, and if that coin has a unique strike error, double die, or unusual surface quality, its value can skyrocket. What makes this coin so captivating is not only its design but also its scarcity and pristine condition. Many quarters from circulation are scratched, worn, or heavily used, but when you come across one in mint state or even with proof-like features, collectors will pay a fortune for it. Imagine someone digging through their loose change jar, pulling out a 2015 quarter, and not realizing that what they're holding could be worth more than some people's cars. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know when a simple coin in your pocket could change your life. Collectors often look for striking details on this coin. On one side, you have the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, a design that has been on the quarter since 1932. On the other side, you have the design representing one of America's most breathtaking national parks or historic landmarks, depending on the specific issue from that year. These designs are not only a tribute to American heritage but also make the coins miniature works of art that people treasure. Now imagine if your quarter has a slight variation, maybe the lettering is doubled, the die cracked during striking, or the rim is misaligned. These small minting errors, which most people would ignore, are what drive collectors wild. Stories keep surfacing of people selling their quarters for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auctions or to private collectors. Some of these coins end up in protective cases, graded by professional organizations that determine their condition on a scale from circulated to uncirculated, and the highest grades fetch the highest prices. For the 2015 Washington State quarter, coins that have been discovered in pristine condition with unique mint marks or error features have reached astonishing values, making them one of the most sought-after modern quarters in circulation. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors searching. Every time you receive change at a grocery store, every time you check a handful of coins lying in your car or drawer, you could be holding onto something priceless without even realizing it. The 2015 quarter is proof that rare treasures don't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes they come in the form of an everyday coin that you've overlooked countless times. So the next time you see one, take a closer look at the mint mark, examine the details carefully, and think twice before spending it, because yes, while it might look like an ordinary 25-cent piece, a rare United States of America Washington State quarter dollar 2015 mint mark coin in the right condition has been valued as high as $83,000.